Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk a little bit about live streaming and streamers and streaming culture, right? Because I don't find it vastly interesting. Isn't that a fantastic hook to bring you in? Yeah, I don't find the topic of this video particularly interesting, right? But there's a couple streamers I have enjoyed, right? You're not gonna like the fact but it's political, right? So who did I watch a bit of? I watched a little bit of Vaush, but apparently he's had some like scandal, like where something's wrong with him. Right? I'm not going to go more in depth than that. You can look it up. Right? But I liked his sort of clips. I never watched a stream. I've never watched a stream in my life, other than when I've had a couple friends do some streams. They streamed like Overwatch or some shit, and so I just watched and put some comments in, support, that kind of thing. So yeah, I watched this little bit of Vaush and thought it's all right, it's nothing special. But the reason that I was kind of enjoying it is because one, there's so much of it in terms of the quantity over quality thing that I kind of like. I like the fact that you can pump out as much as possible and it remains of a certain standard of quality. Like, there's no Vaush video that's like worse than another one, in my opinion. They're all like the same level of quality, which is, it's shit to put on, while you're having your lunch or, that kind of thing while you're cooking. It's not serious entertainment at the end of the day. It's just kind of there to just have as noise. And that's fine because people want noise to have on in the background. You're using this as noise right now, right? So I'm not above it, right? But there was something interesting about Vaush, and I started looking into like the way that his operation works, right? So he's got Vaush. He's got Vaush clips. He's got like Vaush on Twitch, right? And I can't remember if he streams on YouTube as well. Apparently Twitch has a thing where if you just use Twitch, you get like an exclusivity kind of deal. But then if you switch over to, if you do YouTube and Twitch, you lose that out and the money that you make from YouTube isn't going to be as good as the money from that exclusivity deal. I don't know how it works because I'm not a streamer, right? But the point of this video is that I was considering becoming a streamer. Because I've been doing a few of these little live streams lately. I just take my phone out and just stream, right? And I've been kind of enjoying it. There's a bit of like audience interaction. I get to see immediate feedback on what I'm saying from other people, almost like I'm having a conversation with a community. And I find that really quite satisfying, really quite fun. With these videos, I feel like what I'm doing is sort of solidifying an idea forever in a time capsule. Right? Whereas with the live streams, it feels more like developing the ideas in real time, which is the vision that I had for this series, right? That was the idea. And I think it would be quite fun to start doing more live streams and bring about a bit more of a professional, setup and stuff. Not that's going to replace these videos by any stretch of the imagination, right? But I like the idea of trying new things, doing new stuff, and also something that's quite fun about streaming is that when I have to go out and do these videos, right, I have to be a bit more in the mood to do them, right? I don't always, but it tends to make for a better video if I'm in the mood for doing a video, right? Like if I'm going out thinking, oh, I've got to get these videos done, the videos might suffer in quality a little bit because of that. But because I believe in this quantity over quality idea, I still release most things that I make, right? Unless there's serious technical issues or I say something truly that like it reveals personal information about me, or I just say something, or it's just completely incoherent, right? Or I accidentally reveal something about someone that I know, blah, 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 that kind of thing. I don't upload it, but most of the time I do upload it, even if I don't think it's like my best work, right? Because what I tend to find is the videos that I don't think are my best work are the ones that go on to be appreciated the most by other people, right? For instance, my most popular video as of now is the video on advertising. I think it's called like something, use the fact that no one knows who you are to your advantage, right? I recorded it on a like winter afternoon, cloudy. I wasn't in a great mood, right? I didn't think it was going to be anything special, and I don't think it was a particularly special video, but it did like 800,000 views, right? So people clearly liked it and people were loving it. They were going nuts for it, right? But then there's videos that I've done that I think are fantastic and they sit there with 200 views and no one cares about them. And that's fine at the end of the day. I'm not worried about view counts and stuff like that. Yeah, go past if you want, yeah. And you can as well. It helps for the thing as well. Sort of shows naturalism, right? So yeah, where was I? Yeah, of course you can go past, yeah. Just sort of do it. I should really bring a tripod. This video is being done, it's being sat on a bin at the moment. A bin that I've already used for another video, but that time I was more like this way. So you might be able to find that video if you cared enough, which you don't. So yeah, the idea of streaming appeals to me a little bit. I like Limmy's streams as well. Limmy, the guy who did the Limmy show, which is a fun sort of sketch comedy sort of thing. So I take a lot of inspiration from Limmy, even though I think we have different outlooks on the world and I think different approaches to, say, comedy and stuff like that. I find him really funny, and I find his stuff really funny. And I find his content particularly engaging. And I also like the fact that the streams are a little bit more of a, unfiltered, and they're raw. And there's moments where there's dead air. There's, he'll spend like 20 minutes like analysing like an advert and like getting into every single bit, replaying bits again and again and again. And go, did you see that? Right? And that kind of thing. And I love that. It's so much fun to me. I really enjoy those streams, right? But I never watch the streams. There's a channel called Limmy Clips Plus or something like that, right? And I watch those. The way I think of it is, this guy's like, there's like hours and hours and hours of this stuff, right? I don't care about typing shit in the chat. I'm not particularly interested. And if anything, when he gets super into the chat, it kind of annoys me. So I'm thinking if I was to become a live streamer, maybe what I would do is I would have like designated response sections, because when I watch streams back, as a viewer, I don't give a shit about the chat, right? The chat can fuck off, right? But when you're in the stream itself as a viewer, which I've done a couple times, as I said, for like friends and stuff, I got to talk with the other members of the chat, and then that person's chatting with the chat, and that's quite satisfying because he might chat with you next. So it's quite fun. So I think if I was to do live streaming, I'd sort of designate blocks. So like, point made, here's the point, right? And then drop the point down here. Now there's loads of space for having a bit of conversation. And yeah, that's kind of the overall idea. I just thought we'd talk about live streams for a bit, because they're quite fun at the end of the day, I think. And yeah, don't tell me what your favourite live streamer is, because I don't care. I don't really like live streams that much. I've never loved a live stream. I've never sat down and watched a live stream and it's like changed my life, right? But there's some fun bits of content. Limmy's a nice thing to chuck on when I'm cooking, or I can't be bothered, Vaush, before I found out about this, he used to be quite fun for, a little bit of basic political insight, get someone who I'm more, like politically, Vaush and I are fairly not aligned, but like, I agreed with him on quite a lot of stuff he was saying. He was saying basic, like, liberal shit, right? And it was all right, and I enjoyed that, right? And then I watched a bit of Hassan, and I liked him up until he started like sort of saying, oh, China's actually kind of all right, actually. China's actually like better. It's like, no, come on. Just because there's another superpower that's opposed to the US's colonialism and imperialism, right, does not make them a good superpower, right? The US and China can both be fucking villains at the same time, right? Spider-Man 3 had Sandman, Venom, and another one, Dr. Octopus. No, that was Spider-Man 2. It was a Green Goblin, that was it, yeah. And then they had the big Sam, oh, that was just Sandman anyway. So 3.5, right? And J. Jonah Jameson, if you want to count him. But anyway, getting beside the point. Yeah, that was another live stream that I liked a little bit of. I think if I was to do live streams, I wouldn't get too political. I would look at politics from about a bit more than Limmy does. Limmy rarely looks at politics like in a serious way. I do it more than that, but I wouldn't be a political streamer. I'd be a everyday entertainment streamer. I don't really want to get the big setup either. If the LED lights in the background and like that mic that sits there in front of your face. You talk all like this. Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. Right, they all talk like that, right? It's fucking irritating. I wouldn't do any of that. Probably same setup as this, but just like I probably wouldn't bother going outside that much. Well, I've upgraded my data package on my phone. I used to get 1 gig of data a month before. Now I get 50, right? And I'm paying the same price. I'm not telling you who it's with because I'm not an advert for the fucking company, right? But it worked out for me, right? So I'm thinking, I tried doing a live stream just now of different things. What was it? I just tried to do a live stream for 5 minutes and see how much data it uses. We'll see if that works. If it doesn't, then we won't do that and we'll just stay at home, or maybe I'll try and find like some public Wi-Fi that I can use, maybe, because I feel like doing it in the room will get a bit boring. And there's also, like, you know, the idea that you always see them in that exact same place at that exact same angle. I just don't like that. I want to see a bit of variation. That's something that annoyed me about Vaush. You just stayed in the same fucking place with the stupid fucking Pokemon bullshit or whatever it was behind him. And it's like, first off, you're trying to portray yourself as a serious sort of, like, you know, political commentator, right? And you've got all this garbage in the background, and like, you're giving the wrong vibe, the wrong impression, right? I'm not saying you have to be sat in a dark room like Mastermind, right? You can have a bit of casualness, because, you know, he has some jokes and some laughs in there, right? But overall, I don't think anyone would take him for a comedian, right? Even though I have laughed at him a couple times, right? The point of him really is the political sort of discourse and the response to the various political ongoings of the day. And that's kind of what's interesting, right? But yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of streaming, because at some point I'm gonna run out of ideas for these, you know? And I think when that happens, I'd like to do live streaming as the daily thing, and then almost like remake this series of Johnny Mozzo talking videos as like a proper thing, you know, with episodes about topics and like sort of preordained, pre-planned, and like, you know, multiple angles per thing and multiple takes, and a bit, not fully scripted, but, you know, more notes and ideas and stuff. And so each shot, you know, a shot would last 30 seconds, I make a point. There's another shot, 30 seconds, I make a point. Bit of like talking over some images that are relevant to the topic at hand, that kind of thing, right? And that would be fun. We could even call it that kind of thing. I think that's probably not been taken, right? So yeah, that's the idea for the video, and that was kind of my thoughts on some live streamers. I like the idea of live streaming, and I don't understand why people watch them for the life of me, right? It seems so fucking boring, spending 4 hours watching Limmy, right? I like him for maybe 20 minutes at most. But do people actually sit and watch all 4 hours of the stream every single day? There must be some like people that do. You can walk past, yeah. It's a terrible place to film it, really. Thanks. I probably should stop this, because I'm just getting in people's way now. So yeah, take care everybody, bye-bye. Leave your thoughts about whatever the fuck I was just talking about.